Okay, it is time, everybody, for AEW news. Can I get an Ichi Ni San? Wait, one more time, guys. We botched it. Ni San.
This is great.
So, over in AEW land, Bandito in-ring TV set for Collision, his TV return. He's healthy now. He might have tweaked his knee and hurt himself, although this last Collision and Dynamite were actually very good shows.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
They actually really were. If they continue with shows like that, hopefully things turn around. The crowds were hot too for the product, if you want to call it that. And Bandito, hopefully he stays healthy. So Mercedes Mone comes to the ring. This happened on Collision, where this guy's got a sign, Monet is overpaid and overrated. Oh my God. While a picture of her smiling with her millions of dollars and her 4 belts. And this guy has that sign there. This is
sometimes
hilarious.
in life you gotta be a hoe.
You can't make like that up, dude. Ricochet. Let's look at this. He takes a bite out of Bun B. So Bun B did the remix of Swerve's, top rope, catch a vibe. He was on the remix, and he has a burger chain or a burger place, one of them. I don't know. It's called Trill Burgers. And he's also just a legendary rapper, Bun B. Ricochet takes a bite out of a Trill Burger and spits it out.
I mean, it looks all right.
Which is straight blasphemy. And then he starts giggling.
That's what honestly, this is kind of trash. I've had so much better than this.
Damn, I don't know. Ricochet's new is good, dude. I think Bun B's going to come out with Swerve, though, at one of these coming up. But again, celebrity integration. I mean, it would be cool if they brawled. Imagine if they set up a fake. Like, you know how they do pop-up restaurants, and Kevin Smith will do, like, pop-up movie shops? Like movie burgers from the Jay and Silent Bob movies. Imagine if they did a pop-up sort of like this, but it's like Trill Burgers, catering to AEW. That's kind of funny. It's kind of cool. It's a smart idea. But imagine they do a pop-up Trill Burger thing, and then they do like Swerve brawls out Ricochet. Not to copy the grocery store thing, but almost their own, like the way Britt Baker and Big Swole tried to brawl through a dentist's office, which isn't interesting unless you're gonna like spray that foam or get someone high on laughing gas or like cut them with, you know what I mean, scalpels. And like, what is there at a dentist that is interesting? Oh, we're brawling on a table, then we're brawling on this chair, so a Trill Burger. There's burgers flying around. There's people getting squirted with condiments, paws, no Diddy's house, right? Things of that nature. That could be funny. That could be a segment that lives in infamy, if you will. And yeah, I like this. I like what Ricochet and Swerve are starting to do, man. I'm not going to lie. Like I put it over before. At least Ricochet's trying. Like he's showing more character than he did before. It's kind of cringe, but that's kind of the point. That kind of gets some heat, So hopefully we don't get Don Stevens. Look, Tony Khan, I'm putting this over. You can't do the same move twice like that. Pat McAfee with shots at AEW. Yeah, you're right. So Tony Schiavone calls Lance Archer Lance Storm, which is just hilarious. Like he's just phoning it in. Phoning Schiavone at this point. Like just phoning it in. But yeah, he calls him Lance Storm.
Oh, that's Lance Storm. Lance Archer, I think you'll find. Lance Archer. I mean, you're heading to the wall. Lance Archer.
And then he starts calling him Lance Archer. Dude's back in his WCW days, just phoning it in. Oh, that's Lance Storm. I mean, I'm texting Lance Storm about how I want to say how bad the show is, but it's been decent. And I'm not sure if that's a throwback or not, but here's Chris Jericho. Hey, yeah, I look and see. Should I play it? No, we got to 100 so fast. I can't do it to you guys. But Chris Jericho on getting Please Retire chants on Giga Chad Van Vliet, who's been having just amazing interviews as of late, as always, right? But Jericho talks about getting Please Retire chants.
If you're out there and you're making the best of whatever situation it is, and you're getting met with chants of please retire, how does it make you feel?
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like when they were really at their peak, I of course I'm always thinking, okay, I can make a t-shirt out of that. I can make a whole angle out of this. but it kind of went away. You know, they kind of stopped. And plus, I was really good at being able to shut people down. Like, I know, like for give me a city, New York. Please retire. Take the mic and say, I know why you want me to retire, because you want me to go play. You want me to go pitch for the New York Yankees so they could possibly win a World Series, but that's not going to happen. Ooh, and then they stop. Like it's something that Seinfeld said years ago, and any great stand-up comedian. I've got the mic. You can't heckle somebody when the guy has the louder voice. Yeah. So yeah, the please retire was a good one. That was fun.
That was a good one. I mean,
again, like,
do you take it personally?
No, I don't take it personally. Nobody really knows me that says that stuff. And probably if I saw them on the street, like they'd probably say hi. Like whenever I do, a convention or something like that, like when my lines are down the street, and that's not from an egotistical standpoint, but I've been doing this a long time, and a lot of
I mean, I don't know. It's not even like a please retire for Jericho. It's the Jericho Hogan effect that's going on that he's in denial of. And okay, so you're just saying none of my friends tell me that. Well, they're your friends, and they're also yes men, and you're making money hand over fist, and you're the type of guy who doesn't tell Tony he's up. Speaking of Tony Khan, he's here with Adam Devine, okay, at Front Yard Wrestling's Kadam, Adam Devine. So, yeah, I don't know. He's watching the Super Bowl in this box here with the guy from Pitch Perfect. Couple of shorties there. You know what I mean? And he's a funny dude. I was at the Super Bowl. My favorite team was playing. So Danhausen clearly trying to get released as well. He tweets this out, him and Ethan Page reunited in red lighting because evil. So Danhausen, yeah, even though you got me blocked, bud, I'm still a huge fan, and I hope you get to NXT. I think you would be used so well in WWE, and I think they could make his shit work. I get it. It's a little hokey, but he moves merch. He takes it seriously. He got in real good shape there. And again, man, it's like, let him go if you're not going to use him. Tony Khan made some official releases, apparently, according to the dirt sheets today. And I'm going to explain why he did that, okay? Because it's not like, finally, Tony did this. It is a bit of that, but it's like, there's a reason why he did it. And yes, it has to do with because WWE let some people go, which I'll break it all down in a minute. Coming at this with a hot take that I don't think anybody else really got. So Mercedes Monet Vernado tweets out, guess who I ran into at the Super Bowl? And then she makes like the hiding face, crazy face. So I'm assuming Vince McMahon. Yeah. I'm assuming she ran into Shane McMahon and maybe Tony Khan and maybe, people like that. So maybe Triple H. I don't know. I didn't see pictures of him there or anything, but good for her. I'd imagine all the rich people sitting in all the rich people seats would run into each other, Mercedes. So maybe she's talking about Kendrick or something, but we all know what she's alluding to. So as per No DQ and PW Insiders, where this comes from. So it's not Wrestle Talk. It's not No DQ, but they're all regurgitating PW Insider. So PW Insider, they've up on some WWE stuff. When it comes to AEW stuff, all the dirt sheets, even Meltzer, even Sapp, even everyone, all assume they're right.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
And also because
the best guy is Tony Khan.
And he likes to stooge to the sheets. We know that, okay? Whereas WWE does not. Basically, it's announced today out of nowhere, Miro, formerly Rusev in WWE, is reportedly no longer working for AEW. Now, I didn't bookmark every single one I saw of this, and I did have a Malakai one, but maybe the phantom bookmarks got rid of it. But AEW, they make these releases, right? So I go on Twitter, and there's 3 big prominent names. Now, again, I'll reiterate this because we did the rewind, clipping Phil. So Ricky Starks, Rusev, and Malakai Black. I don't have a Malakai Black bookmark in here. I believe the Phantom of the Bookmark Opera, who's left us alone tonight here largely, removed it. But either way, Malakai as well is a big name, which I can pull it up here if you guys want. But this comes from PW Insider. As I said before, The dirt sheets are being worked by WWE. You know, the best guy's Tony Khan. So you know he loves leaking to Dave and Sap and PWI. So I'm more inclined to believe them when it comes to AEW shit. Now, I'd love for someone like Ref MJ from NJ. Maybe I'll challenge him. Maybe I'll give him a DM or something. I'd love for somebody to break down, maybe go over the last year and go, hey, how accurate have all the sheets been with AEW versus WWE? That'd be cool. But I'm inclined to believe that it's they're more accurate when it comes to AEW stuff. Now, it is true. It is damn true. Miro, formerly Rusev, on Rusev Day, no longer working for AEW, got his release after requesting it again. I'm not sure that's what they said, but I think he's requested it numerous times. Ricky Starks has reportedly departed AEW and is now 100% free and clear to compete elsewhere. If it's me, he's showing up at Judgment Day or he's showing up at the Raw After Mania. I would say Malakai for the Raw After Mania. That's sort of a Raw After Mania type thing. Ricky Starks, I think, could run game in NXT for a bit. Like, give him that NXT run just for a little bit and draw some houses, like prove that he can be a guy, him and Paige and in the mix with Trick and all them. And then he can be in that next round of call-ups because we got to settle some. If he's main roster, then he's got to be involved with Cody and for a bit. We got to let's tell some stories first between Punk and Cody and Rock and Roman and da. We got all that to hash out the next year or two. Ricky could run it in NXT for a minute. So if I'm WWE, I'm just having him debut a snickety snap. Okay. Malakai Black, I'm saving for the Raw After Mania, maybe even Miro Raw After Mania, or advertise Miro, like surprise everyone with Aleister Black, Malakai Black, surprise everyone with Starks in NXT, surprise everyone with Black on Raw on Netflix, and then Miro run promos for him and as the guy who's coming back to SmackDown. You know, like run pro vignettes, like it's Rusev Day or whatever. Call him Miroslav Rusev or whatever. Integrate their old names. I don't care if Malakai comes back as Aleister or Malakai. I don't give a. He could be Tommy End for all I give. I'm glad that Triple H. These guys as well. Starks is a Cody guy. Miro and Black are Triple H guys. They're early NXT guys, and Miro was a Vince guy largely as well. But Malakai Black never got that run he could have. Triple H made him so cool in NXT Black and Gold. He'll do it again. Miro, I mean, come on. He was getting huge pops in AEW, even when his promos were confusing and dumb, like, my God, you know, my Lord and Savior, you've betrayed me. Now I will kill you. You know, even when he's doing that, people are popping for him. It was during his match that the whole meat thing came about. So I definitely am excited for them to all. These three are all coming back to WWE for sure. Now, the reason Tony Khan, I think, did this is because he's clearing up large amounts of money. He can spend less. It'll be more than, let's say, Indy Hartwell or let's say Sonya Deville or let's say Cedric Alexander, who's going to get more than he was getting before. Okay. They're going to get bigger paydays in AEW than they were getting in WWE. All right. But it'll be less money than he's paying Miro and them to sit at home. And do you guys get what I'm saying? Like Cedric's going to get more to be part of Hurt Syndicate than he's been getting in WWE. However, that's still going to be less than like Miro's getting or Malakai's getting just to chill, or Ricky's been getting just to chill, right? Maybe Ricky. Okay. So I believe this is Tony going, oh, well, they're not hiring people because they're releasing people. Budget cuts. Even though budget cuts doesn't mean like bring a Ricky Starks in who is going to sell gangbusters and be a prominent figure on the show and shock the IWC. It doesn't mean that, dude. People that they know they can market, right? Budget cuts is people like Sonya Deville, Lopez, like they're on the show. How do you market them? You know what I'm saying? Differently, they tried. They gave some Duke Hudson, Beyond Chase U. Like, what does he do? So I totally understand the difference in that as well. Like Sonya Deville, okay, she's been on TV forever. If she's been in factions, she's been solo. If she's going to get over like Rover, she's been the GM, it would have happened. So they can't pay her as much money. That's a budget cut. It's not budget cuts like we're just wiping people out for court to make it look like we're making more profit, pal. They're already making so much money. They don't have to worry about that. That's an old Vince thing, that Triple H is less ruthless. He's not going to do that. Okay. Everybody that was named in all of these releases, they're not used on TV enough to quantify anything. Vinci, like there was just nothing for him. You know, I'm so sorry. And apparently he had heat as well. So that makes sense. Stooge tests were done, and that's why some people got released before. So they're not doing these things like unwarranted. You know, it's, you know, they're just, I'm sure, like I laid it out, they're looking at their WrestleMania plans. They're looking at their post WrestleMania plans, and they're like, who doesn't fit into this? Whatever. Some of these guys like Ricky Starks or Malakai or Rusev, who's proven he's going to move merch and all that. He's over even in AEW, a proven guy. Rode a tank against John Cena at WrestleMania, and he's been away, so it's not like there's lots on him. Like, he's coming back sort of fresh. Miro just sort of pops up and beats a guy, then disappears for a long time, so his mystique and his aura is sort of there. You bring him back to WWE, and you're telling me they're not going to market him correctly and put him in the IC title picture and stuff like that. It's going to work. And I think Tony Khan up with this, okay? Now, you guys know I've been like, free Phoenix. It's crazy, though. Phoenix not released. Huh. Phoenix not released. I wonder why, dude. The thing is I think Tony's thinking to himself, they're doing budget cuts. They're not even going to hire anyone. And then I'm going to hire up Cedric and them. Ha-ha. But it's a fumble because, no, they're just going to get Rusev. He's going to blow up huge. They're going to get Malakai back. They're going to get Ricky Starks, who, like, we've been begging for in NXT. They're going to steal a bunch of AEW fans who were like, dude, I loved House of Black. Dude, I just want Ricky Starks to get pushed. I just want Ricky Starks to get pushed. I just want Ricky Starks to be on TV. They're going to lose those people. They're going to start watching NXT, and then they're going to start beating NXT worse in the ratings. And like I told y'all, NXT is going to get over 1 million at least once this year. And we're going to get some crazy-ass moments. So I think Tony Khan
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Again, this is reactionary. Everything Tony does, this is why you can chalk it up, just psychoanalyzing Tony McCon. You can chalk it up to pettiness. You can chalk it up to, it's not even pettiness, but it's him being reactionary and not creative and not ahead of the curve. Not saying it's creative to release people, but he saw what WWE did. In my mind, I truly believe this. Because why didn't he do this 3 months ago? Why didn't he just go, okay, Ricky, go work GCW, you're released. Go and hey, Ray, I won't freeze your time. Why isn't he doing that? And why isn't Ray released too? Miro, yeah, okay, I'll let you go now because I need to get Cedric and I want to bring in, I've had pitches, some of their friends. It's all friends wrestling. So who's friends who just got released? You know, some people are going to show up in AEW. We know that. At least 1 or 2 or 3. So for the cost of 2 or 3, that's 1 Miro. And now Tony is trying to look like, because the reception to these people being released wasn't really outrage. People were like, damn, can't wait to see them cook in other companies. But there was some Fed people outraged. I know a lot of people were like, what the man, what an L. But that's just those are just the people who have no hot takes. They have no real, they just say vanilla ass, just cold ass, basic what everyone has to say, which is fine. Let other people say it so it goes unsaid. But yeah, I think, Tony, this was reactionary, and that's why it seems hack. It's like you're still playing catch up. You should have released all these people and showed everyone, damn, Tony's really doing these cuts, and then WWE do their little cuts, and then it makes free agency more exciting. Maybe Tony and Dave in their mind are thinking like, well, make some cuts because then it'll make free agency.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Because remember, Dave's like, oh, free agency's not exciting now with WWE scooping everyone up and blah, blah, not releasing anyone and da-da-da. So who knows? Ultimately, this is an L for Tony Khan because even though I'm like free Starks and free Phoenix, it's because Tony does petty to them when he could just release them. It's petty to freeze Phoenix when he did the pandemic era for you and you didn't even know his contract was coming up until all of a sudden dirt sheet marks were like, well, Tony, he's going to WWE. He's trademarking stuff. And then you're like, oh, let me freeze him. You weren't even going to use him. You have other luchas on your show. That's to do. That's petty. So yes, free him. However, I've always defended Tony. He's well within his rights to hang on to all these people. You sign a contract, bro. Yeah, I just think it's an L for Tony for that reason. He should have stuck it through and been petty. You're going to be Tony Petty, be petty. Don't then just bail out because WWE does it. And you're like, oh, I'm going to trade my Ricky Starks, Miro, and Malakai Black for Cedric Alexander. And who? Who was released that they're going to bring in? Sonya Deville. Like, who the fuck are they going to bring in out of that bunch? Cedric? Holy man, he let go of 3 money players. And these aren't every one of these guys, Malakai, Rusev, and Ricky, we all said when they went to AEW, these could be game changers. These could be money players for Tony Khan. We all said it and agreed on it. And they came from different places, 2 from WWE, 1 from NWA. And there was a few of those NWA guys where we were all like, man, Ricky, push him, build him up. That's the future of AEW. He couldn't do the damn thing. But Tony McCon is a goddamn dummy. He's an idiot. And yeah, these guys are all free, and I'll see them getting scooped up. I don't think any of them will be on the Mania card, really, though. I could see maybe Ricky being on the NXT Mania, whatever. But Rusev, I would just advertise him as coming back to SmackDown. And then I would just have Malakai shock everyone with like a lights go out type thing at Raw, the Raw after Mania. Ladies and gentlemen, that was AEW news. I hope you all enjoyed that. A lot of dopes going down on this Raw while we've been talking about that. Yeah, let's give an Ichi Nissan Da. And there is more news AEW adjacent, but it's ringside news' meltdown.
Sometimes in life, you gotta be a hoe.